Hate him all you want. MBE this, feed that, Trashford, Lashford, Sashford, Tashford. This was a superb G. Let's get in on that Rashford. Announce me of a goal. Let's get it. So look, man, it was an amazing goal. And I'm not obviously amazing goal, and we're gonna break it down. And I just think that you know what, just before we even break down the goal, I'm happy for Rashford. I always said that I think Rashford is finished. I think it's good, and I think that this move is gonna fail. I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong. And if I'm proven wrong, I will be the first person to admit I was wrong, and I would be happy to be wrong. I want to be proven wrong because if there's one person I want to succeed, it's your boy Marcus. I want Cos Ford to say what's up. I want Cos Ford to say what's up and to succeed, just based on just the amount of people that want him to fail and the amount of people that have a very weird fascination of wanting him to now sort of be trashed. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. No. Because of that, I actually want him to succeed. I want him to succeed. So let's talk about it, bro. So where are we at right now? Let's shut that down. So from this position here, so this is your boy. So this is your boy Rashford, right there. You would think from this position, you would 100% think that okay, maybe there's Gerard Martin might be making an overlapping run there. You've got this. I don't know whether that's Ferran Torres or Lewandowski. I don't know whether he was on there. So you've got obviously Rafinha over there. So you think that if you're Rashford, okay, you've got quite a few. You've got quite a few of these Newcastle players there. A goal from this position doesn't make any sense, which is what makes this such a crazy goal, because it doesn't really make sense to make a goal from this position because, again, there is so much traffic around here that the most natural thing to do would be to try and find some other players around there, or even look for a run from the player there. But it doesn't happen. So we move. So hold on. So I think from this position, because he obviously adopts this. Well, he semi-adopts this dude. So that's Rashford over there. So Rashford already, he's like, okay, but he already knows that he has the beating of this guy here. But guys, that's where the goal is. The goal is right there. Look at where he is and look at the goal there. And I'm actually even going to go into detail as to, again, line of vision and how difficult it was not only to get the shot off on target, but to actually see where the shot ended up just based on just his lack of a line of vision that he had. But obviously, so Rashford knows that, okay, look, he knows that he can gain some separation from your boy here. And he just needs just a little bit, just that 1 yard of separation, just to the sweet, because that's the sweet spot right there. So you would think that if he gets into the sweet spots right there, whether that be a Rafinha or a Lewandowski, it perhaps make much more sense for him to pretty much play a through ball. Either to play a through ball or to play a ball out wide. But it doesn't happen. We move. If you told me, so again, this is the goal right there. That's the goal right there. If you were to tell me that from this position, somebody would score, you'd be insane. 100%, you would not think in a million years you would shoot from here, because not only is it far off. Yes, he has some separation from the player, but I think this might be Livramento. I think this might be Livramento here. He is still being hustled by this defender. So this defender is still hustling him. And you've got Dan Bon, who is tall in front of him, and these other players blocking him. So if you had like a myriad of choices of like what you should do, the last thing you would think of doing is to go for a shot. That's just a bad decision. The natural decision is to find a pass or to find a through ball into one of these players here. Because you've got 1, 2 players over there. Boom, that's what I wanted. You can't score from that. Guys, just look at this. Pause for a moment and look at that image. And Nick Pope ain't the worst keeper in the world. Nick Pope is a pretty decent keeper. You can't score from there. I mean, I'll show you another different angle, but guys, that's Rashford right there. You've got a defender, and this defender being 8 foot tall Dan Bon, and even have another Barca player blocking him. Look at the amount of players blocking him. To somehow get through all this traffic, hold on, let me make that red. To somehow get all through that traffic and end up there, bro, it's insanity. That's insanity. Guys, even looking at guys, this is a pretty crazy goal. Guys, from this position, to get your shots off and to shoot is crazy. And when you just look at the kind of shots he got in terms of the height and the power and the accuracy, makes this goal insane. Like this is without a doubt is the goal of the week. Goal of the week. And I think the key thing is, so that's a ball there. Look at the height he gets from there. So it's just the amount of power he generates, the height he generates, and the trajectory to pretty much loop it over Nick Pope, make it high enough and accurate enough, because really it clips the bar. It actually clips the crossbar over there. But guys, look at where he is. Look at where he shoots from. Because remember, it's not as if he's coming in straight. He's coming in from an angle while being hustled by a defender, and he now has to twist his body and now shoot while freaking Dan Bon and several other players are blocking him. This is what we call dot. You know when Half-Up says dot, this is what we call dot. This is what we call degree of difficulty. Degree of difficulty. Boom. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Guys, look at that. Because literally, you can see he's going away. So, because you can see the defender here, I think this might be Livramento, is hustling him. And he is blocking him and trying to make it hard for him by pushing him away from goal. So he has to go away from goal and then twist his body and then turn, which just is crazy. If you've played football, you understand how hard that is. So you can see that he's been moved away and he has to twist his body and generate enough power and accuracy to twist right and get it over here. Because to be real with you, from this position, it would make more sense to go here. It would actually make much more sense to actually hit it there. But from that position to move that ball across over there is insane. It's insane. Again, the power he generates, the accuracy he generates, and again, as you can see, that's Dan Bond there. That's another Barca guy there. That's another defender who is literally right by him. So the amount of pressure he's been put under for him to still be able to unleash that shot and the quality of the shot is absolutely insanity. Again, look at that. Bro, look at that. So you see, you have your... Oh, no, sorry, it was Tonali. So it was Tonali who was on him. I thought it was Livramento. So it was Sandro Tonali who was literally on him. So because I thought he actually got some separation from him, but he didn't really get that much separation from Sandro Tonali. So Tonali was still hustling him, making it hard for him to actually have proper line of vision. And you had Dan Bon over here saying what's up. So from this position, to smack that ball and get that ball across, across Nick Pope, but with the height and the accuracy and making it just clip down is amazing. It's amazing. Look at that. Beautifully struck. But look at where he's so the moment he strikes it, you've got Tonali there, you've got Dan Bond there, pretty much not giving him any vision. So again, a third degree of difficulty up in that piece. Hold on. Look at that. Look at the amount of height he gets on it, which is very key. Look at the amount of height he now because, and you can see from Nick Pope he has no freaking chance. So again, if you think about it, like this was probably the best choice to take, which is to go because I thought it would be better for him to go top right. But it probably makes more sense to go top left because he wants to move it as far away from Nick Pope as possible. The issue with doing that is, yes, you're moving it wide from Nick Pope, but you don't want to move it so wide that it goes away. So for the fact that moved away from Nick Pope, he got the height, he got the power, he got the accuracy, while so many guys were around him is insane. And from going away from goal by Sandro Tonali, been hustling him and be able to twist his body and say what's up, now it's money. Well, it's money. Shout out to your boy, yes, yeah. But this is Ballon d'Or Rashford. And you can even see how much, like, look at that because it clips the crossbar. Like, it always feels good when you score a goal where it clips the crossbar. I don't know why, it just always feels good. But look at that. Clips the crossbar and goes in. But again, guys, from that position he was in, from this position here, just look at just how much power he gets on it. The reason what I always said about Rashford is, insult him all he wants and everything, the consistency, his technique is amazing. Because this goal is pure technique. This is pure technique. This is just a guy who understands the precise technique of where to hit the ball, the power in which to hit the ball, and how to get the proper direction. Just says so that if he's able just to perfect this guy can score a lot of goals. Which is why maybe Hansi Flick is the right guy, because not many people in football can score this kind of a goal. From a pure technical point of view of like, because I think, so obviously let's say this is the front of your foot. I think he hits it with the front of his foot like this, or maybe here. But to generate this much power is insane because, hold on. I mean, look at that. Look at where he's from this position here to, with this defender here to, because it's the amount of power he generates. And you have to understand this is that anybody can hit the ball hard. What is hard is a mixture of power, technique, and accuracy. So lots of guys have power, but they don't really have the accuracy. They may have the accuracy, but not have the power. But why this was almost unstoppable is because of the accuracy of him from this position to know that, like, I want to move it, because obviously, because I lied. If he goes here, hold on, let me make it red. If he goes here, it's near post, it's easy. But because there's so much space here, that's where you want to go. But it's so much harder to hit it from there based on just how much people are hustling him. But still, to even get that angle across like that and get there with the power and the accuracy, oh no, it makes it fully money, bro. It makes it fully money. Hold on. Yeah, guys, look at that. That's insane, bro. That's insane. That's insane. You know, homeboy, hold on. Homeboy is here and manages to put that ball across from this angle here to put that ball across. No, not even across there, for it to loop up across, clip the crossbar and say, what's up? That's pure chess. See, that's pure Tesh. So when I talk about Tesh, that's just pure Tesh. Like, this is not about power and everything. This is a Tesh goal. So when you say, oh, how what is a Tesh goal? What do you mean about Tesh? This is what I mean about Tesh. And from a player who I've insulted a lot, who I've abused a lot, this is Tesh. This is Tesh in its purest form. To score this kind of a goal is Tesh in its purest form. I mean, hold on. That's Tesh. Because you see, this is a guy that's, yes, he's hitting it with power, but he knows what he's doing. He knows the accuracy and knows the direction. It's an absolutely fantastic goal. And again, if Hansi Flick can just really get the best out of him, train him, and if he can just perfect his shooting technique, Rashford can maybe somehow be that player that many people thought he was. And I gave up on him. But looking at just that, even the first goal was quality. With his head, quality goal. But when I just look at just that shooting technique of that goal, I'm like, bro, if Hansi Flick can just refine this guy and somehow be able to coach him in ways that maybe other guys couldn't coach him, whether that be Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, or Ragnick, Ole, maybe, just maybe, we could have a fantastic player and Thomas Tuchel could have a dynamite for England. So right now, stats is the main thing.
Yeah,
nobody watches any. These scouts don't watch this game.
Because there's more money in it. No, you're lying.
No, hold up. So this is your boy Bill. He literally, that's the key word. He has to just fling himself. To watch the rest of this vid, think about becoming a Football Hut member. If you're a desktop merchant, just click on the join button below, over here. Or if you're a mobile phone merchant, just click on the join button below the video over here and join the true elite content crack addicts. Peace.